WCS Season 1 finals, of course, the Korea finals.
In Korea.
In Korea, yeah. We are still in Korea, but the Korea finals, they have been between Seoul-Ki and Innovation. We have another Terran player now starting to the bottom left of the map, starting in blue. It is
LGIM MVP from Europe.
I was going to say from Europe, and then I actually knocked my earpiece out of my
MVP Jürgen. And starting to the bottom right of the map in red, we have the Terran player for Axiom. He's from America. Yes.
Axiom Ryung from America.
Told you.
Yeah. I'm all set up again. I elbowed my headphones, and then suddenly they flew out, and I was like, I was just kind of deaf for a few seconds. I had to see what that was like, but no gas for either player just yet, and it looks like we're going to have perhaps our most, I don't want to say bland, but just very plain early game where both players just go for an early safe expand without any hyper aggression, no Reaper pressure, no really fast drops, nothing like that. Just going into a quicker command center. They're not even taking gas still, so it may even be both of them just go into a one barracks expand, which is actually kind of risky in Heart of the Swarm, but it can work out.
Yeah, at this point, this is definitely going to be a little bit of a different game that we see between the two of them. This is like a bigger map than we've seen so far, and we have the gas now for Ryung after all, but with both players actually going to take the gas, not going for a very early expand. We might see the Reaper and then dropping the CC here, but I'm really excited for this one. Ryung has realized that Game 1 was not just standard Terran versus Terran. Game 2 just showed much more the strength that is MVP. And now, what are we going to see by both of them in this deciding match now, our first best of 3 of the day?
Yeah, that's the question. Ryung tries to get a scout, but in TVT, if you get walled out, you know, sometimes this can happen to you. You get a little bit of a disadvantage because not only does he see nothing, but he lost some mine time. And MVP is just going to do a quick expand here. He has the gas up now, but it's much later than Ryung's. And it's not just a straight up one barracks expand. It is going to be with probably a Reaper follow-up for scouting. He has a few different options as to what he transitions to, but there's the command center on the high ground.
Yep, CC now being built a little bit faster for MVP, but Ryung is dropping his own command center on the low ground. Gives him the edge with the advantage that he can mine from the mineral patches faster.
Yeah, gets that early lead there. And right now, Ryung just setting up his Marines at the top of the ramp so MVP can't scout him. And MVP knows that at this timing, and no matter what build Ryung is doing, he's not really going to be able to see anything, so he doesn't even try for it. And a second scout for Ryung goes across the map now. He wants to verify, if he can, what's going on, but he should know that anything more than the watchtower, he's not going to be able to scout that.
Well, right now we have Jürgen at the bottom left. Can you pronounce that?
Jürgen?
Yeah.
I think that's how it's done.
That's okay. Yeah, I always wondered why they came up with the name Jürgen and didn't go for something that was really, really like typical German and very hard to pronounce for like non-German speakers, for non-natives. It would have been much more fun. Like all of them just struggling to try to pronounce the name.
I thought Hans would have been nice.
Hans is so not a German name anymore. That is so like nobody calls his kid Hans anymore.
I don't know. I just thought it would have been funny.
If my mom would have called me Hans, I would have just run away. Once I could like spell my own name, I would be like, "Oh my God, what did you do to me?" And I would just run away from home.
You like change your name from Hans to Hans. You just become Hans. And
you hear Hannes and Johannes sometimes, but Hans, nobody's called Hans these days.
I don't know. Well, it's certainly not MVP because they decided he was Jürgen instead.
Yeah. For whatever reason. I think
whatever reason.
Names that they could have picked here.
Oh, look at that. He cancels the gas after he was scanned.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, all he really gets out of this is maybe a faster third command center, though. And currently MVP is going into Widow Mines, double Widow Mines, so he's going to be going for a drop.
Yeah, the drop play could be a really strong once again. He's shown us in game number 2 that he is just so amazing with his drop play here. I want to see if he's able to pull that off again in the same fashion.
Yeah, and right now he's also going to transition into Hellbats. He's going into the Hellbat drop right afterwards, so just continue that type of aggression. And if he keeps putting the pressure on, just like we saw in Game 2, he can control Ryung so much that when it comes to taking his third base, Ryung can't pressure him. And two medevacs actually may meet here. It looks like they are. Are they going to pay attention?
Yeah, he's definitely going to see that. But MVP has the medevac a little bit faster on his opponent's base, and he showed us in game number 1 how he tries to keep Ryung low. And here comes the speed boost in. Apparently he didn't, because he doesn't react at all. And here comes the Widow Mine, 1 and 2.
A little bit overzealous, dropping both Widow Mines in the same place there. Could have sent that to the natural.
One of them blast the SCV away. But also MVP didn't see the medevac. They were both occupied on the map.
Yeah, they were microing Hellions in the middle of the map. I guess they didn't notice.
Talking about Hellions, we have a lot of them now at the natural of MVP, but the Terran player for LGIM is now busy at the natural of Ryung.
This is crazy. Both players going for aggression and actually both struggling to defend.
Yeah, both of them doing a lot of damage here, especially MVP already taking down 14 Harvesters in this early stage of the game, and he can now boost into the main base once more. Keep in mind, those Widow Mines, they are still active.
They are still active here, and it forces a cancel on their refinery once again. This medevac will go down, but I'm not even sure if he realizes there's a Widow Mine there, to be honest.
I don't think he did, to tell you the truth. I think he missed that. MVP has a really great position if he's able to get another Widow Mine shot in.
Yeah, so many of those SCVs damaged from before. He has not dealt with the Widow Mine at all. I don't think he has any idea Cal is
he needs
there.
to target. He nearly needs to target. Well, even if he doesn't, that is going to do a lot of damage here. 2 kills so far.
Could even hurt the Viking.
And with a bang, he kills the Viking.
You know, killing a Viking here, not bad.
Yeah, but
the thing is, I don't even know if Ryung knows still. He certainly doesn't seem like it.
I actually think that killing SCVs would have been the better. I don't know.
Well, he definitely didn't target it, that's for sure. Either way, the Hellions finally clear up that Widow Mine.
Yeah. I don't know what would have been better. It depends on how many SCVs he's able to take down. But with the SCV numbers already as low as they were, maybe taking down a few additional Harvesters would have given him a bit of better edge. It depends on if the lead that we have in Vikings now for MVP is going to be used or not.
Exactly. He's going for the next wave, which is going to be the Hellbats, as I described earlier. It's something that Ryung does not do. He's going for Hellions again, which worked out for him in some cases in Game 2, but at the end of the day, he was just not able to take a third base. MVP also still has not started his third command center. He has the minerals now. He'll probably start it in just a second. He totally dodges that Viking, goes right into the main base. There's so many of these SCVs hurt from earlier.
The Hellions are there, though, but you are right. The SCVs are hurt, and they are taking even more damage. The Viking has to drop again. The medevac, that's exactly what he does. Takes down more Harvesters as we speak. And now we have... we have a few more Hellions also in the natural. And just look at the astonishing amount of Harvesters that MVP takes down. 30 in total so far. And the SCV numbers at this point are 18 to 39.
MVP just showing his dominance here in the early game. Still no third command center. He's always hovering around 350 to 450 minerals, but he's spending more minerals on getting his production powered up here. 2 more factories, double Vikings, double Hellbats coming out for him. His +1 for not ships, but for vehicles is coming out. It's about to finish. And MVP, he has to deal with a ton of Hellions coming out for Ryung now. Now, if he can hold this, and he has the high ground advantage, and he's going to have a massive lead here. But don't forget, Hellions, we saw it last game, they can actually trash Hellbats depending on the splits, depending on the micro.
Yeah, at this point, if he can hold the next attack of Ryung, this is going to be game. He has to hold this. Here come the Vikings in the main base right now. The SCVs actually fighting, and here come those Hellions.
With the bunker there and the Hellbats and the medevac, he can't actually break up. Not against the high ground like this.
You cannot go into a concave of Hellbats. That just doesn't work. If you have the better range and you kite, you have the mobility, maybe even the blue flame upgrade.
Ryung dropping
you can do a lot. But right now, this is like basically game. He's losing the advantage that he had in army supply, and catching up in economy is going to be a problem, especially since MVP is still active at his opponent's natural. He has Hellbats there, taking down even more Harvesters.
Yeah, it looks like Ryung is pretty much dead in the water right now. He wanted to hit that timing with the Hellions, and it almost worked, but with the concave you're talking about, the medevac's there, even the bunker, he's got a somewhat of a wall. It's just not going to happen.
And you know, it's just so amazing that MVP is schooling Ryung here. Ryung being such a great Terran player, but in this series he was not able to show it. This is usually his best matchup by far, but MVP is taking him down early on, trying to be aggressive with an 8-Rax Reaper on game number 1 or map number 1, but now we have him with 2 straight up standard games against Ryung, and he is dominating the series at this point.
He really is, and here come the Vikings actually for MVP. One Viking already landed because he knew he didn't have the air dominance. He knew he was going to lose any Vikings that popped out. I don't know if MVP is going to really commit to this. You know, he could trade okay here, but he decides not to, and I respect his choice. The Hellbats, on the other hand, they will commit.
Yeah, the Hellbats, they are moving in again, and the Hellions doing the best they can, but also the Vikings now on the ground once again doing damage. Ryung dropping in supply down to 50 against 90. This is curtains.
That's curtains. GG.
GG indeed. We have MVP going to the winners match here in Group B at the WCS Season 1 Finals. Our first game is over. An MVP with a nice comeback into the series was able to pull up the 2-1.
Yeah, really, really good micro, great drop play, and I have to say, MVP, he was the king of Korea. He went to take over Europe, and maybe he's going to come back and reclaim Korea here in our Season 1 Finals. Really excited to see how he's going to do if he gets out of the group, of course, in the bracket stage. Coming up in just a few minutes, we are going to have a Zerg versus Protoss Kangho up against Alicia.
And that's going to be great. Alicia is doing really well in WCS America, and he just used this Void Ray style. He had not only the late game Void Rays where you mass a huge amount of them and try to overwhelm the Zerg's army. At the same time, he has really nice timings designed to take down a third base, to take down a fourth base of the Zerg player, get a lead in economy. So his style was very strong, and he stated in interviews later on that he thinks it's very difficult for Zergs to deal with this. And you can be sure that Kangho watched all of those games, tried to prepare, and we will find out what exactly Kangho, aka Lucera, has up his sleeve to defeat Alicia. We'll have a break, and after we are done with our 5 to 10 minute break, we'll bounce back with our game number 2 of the day here at the WCS Season 1 Finals, Group B, with Alicia up against Kangho.